Okay, this week feels like a good week for us to start talking about disaster preparedness for nonprofits. This is a way that we can maintain some level of control and predictability in very uncertain situations. I have been through situations like this, particularly an EF4 tornado that hit Hattiesburg, Mississippi in 2013. And that impacted my personal residence and the campus that I was working for. So I know a little bit about trying to predict these things. I know what we did well and what we did not so well. So hopefully this will be helpful to some of you right now. The first step is to identify your risk. Risk are not always just these big weather events like hurricanes. Risk can be tornadoes, floods, fire. These are things that can happen anywhere. Active shooter situations can happen anywhere in the United States. So make sure that you know the risk and that you are going through all of those risks, because the scenarios look really different depending on which one is actually happening at your organization right then. And you have to know what you're dealing with in order to actively plan for it. The second is to regularly review your protocols. So making sure that you have dedicated staff meetings a couple times a year where you're talking through the protocols that you have developed for each of the different scenarios and how you see things rolling out in those instances. You're going to have new employees coming in and out of your organization, and these staff meetings are crucial to making sure that they are on board with those disaster plans. And the protocols are only as good as how many people know about them. The third is back up your data. Don't just rely on the cloud. Don't just rely on what's on your computer. Give external hard drives or little 2 terabyte thumb drives to every employee and back up on a regular basis. Store those off-site somewhere so that if something were to happen to your physical location or to the various employees' homes, you can back up from that if you're not able to access the cloud. It's going to give you a head start in a variety of situations if you have that data backed up. And better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. The next thing is always cross-train employees on core business tasks. So somebody's got to be able to send out mass emails. Someone needs to be in charge of maintaining the phone list and contacting employees to see if everyone is okay as soon as they're able to do that. Someone needs to be in charge of gift processing and the core task of your nonprofit, whatever that is. Leadership is going to be really busy, so staff needs to know who their backup person is and be able to put those plans into action quickly, and that's part of your protocol meetings. And you need to facilitate communication. A list of cell phones, personal cell phone numbers, needs to be kept and accessible by multiple members of staff, and it needs to be updated regularly. I know I don't have every single other employee's phone number saved in my phone, but if I knew where to get that information quickly and easily, I would be able to make arrangements with people who might be my backup for a particular task. So this is where I would start. I'm going to be talking about this topic all week in multiple parts, and I'll be reviewing some of this information because it's really, really important that you think through these issues about how are you going to fundraise after a natural disaster? How are you going to take care of your people? How are you going to increase communication? How are you going to check on your donors and make sure that your donors and the people that are your beneficiaries of your organization are taken care of in these situations? So we're going to predict as much as we can and plan for it. So let me know if you have questions in the comments or if there's other parts of this topic that you want to talk about.